Hey everybody, we have fun here. I'm Jay,
And I'm Luke.
and today we're having fun watching My Hero Academia Season 6, Episodes 17 and 18, The Wrong Way to Put Out a Fire, Inuzuka Midoriya and Tomura Shigaraki.
It again bothers me that they call it the last episode Hellish Todoroki Family Part 2.
Uh-huh. And then this
when-
one happened when this one could have been it, yeah.
Well, and they even made reference to it.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize you would make your
Hawks
own list
dead
so
ass
hellish.
said to these guys, "Man, I didn't realize your family was so hellish." It's like, wrong episode, bro.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Hawks didn't get the memo. He
Yeah.
should have said, boy, that sure was the wrong way to put out a fire, Endeavor.
Yeah, it's like nobody even said anything like that.
Yeah, which, I mean, I'm fine with nobody actually saying that. I think that's cool.
Sure.
But, yeah, it's a good
Yeah,
title.
just the content of the episode itself was more akin to that. But then also, I do think the wrong way to put out a fire is adequate as far as explaining what was happening, right? Because
Yeah.
the whole episode really centers on sort of the frustration and difficulty that Endeavor has in not knowing how to put things right with Toya.
Right. Yeah.
He's trying to. Well, and they make reference to this too in the episode. Toya talks about how his dad lit this fire or whatever, this passion to become the best, and then it's like, how do you put that out?
Exactly. Yeah.
Once you get that started, and yeah, it's like he chose the wrong way.
Yeah, he did.
The
Well,
wrong
he's
way
just
to
like,
put out that fire.
maybe if I ignore him,
There was some of
that'll
that,
work.
but then like there was one scene where it was like, I guess maybe this is a difficulty between like vibe and like tone and sort of these non-verbal components of communication between
Uh-huh.
peoples, where it's like Toya could just tell that his dad was disappointed, and that's a rough thing to feel about your father
Oh, sure.
towards you. But there was one scene where he said what I felt like was pretty much the best thing you could possibly
Say,
do in the situation. Like, if you
go
set
make
up a
some friends.
situation where you've like created this expectation and your desire is to relinquish them from it and like also support them. Yeah, he like there was that one scene where he like got down on his knees. He's like, "Hey man, listen, yeah, I guess maybe he could have worded it better and like, hey, your power hurts you,
Uh-huh.
and that's not great. We don't like that. So unfortunately, that's a limitation on you as far as being a hero. Hey man, there's other crap you can do with your life, and
Right.
and
Well, here's the thing. If Endeavor had maybe, backed up his own words there,
yeah,
because it wasn't, directly after that Toya went and burned himself up. It was like a couple of years later.
yeah.
And he was just like, keep the children separate from one another, and I'm
Mhm.
gonna ignore the rest of them except for Shoto.
Yeah.
I think that could have worked.
That
Again,
was
if
another,
he could have backed it up, but he didn't make good on his word there. He didn't like tell him, "Hey, you're still my son, and I value you and love you, even if you're not a hero." And
yeah.
he didn't do anything to show that either.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the problems that like Rhea pointed out, at one point she's crying and she says he just wants you to pay attention to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's like, I feel like I have two different feelings about sort of the way this episode went.
Hmm.
Um, on the one hand, I kind of like that there was this like contributive, everyone sort of backs up Endeavor
Hmm.
and says like, "Hey man, we all made this mess together to some extent. Um, let's fix it together." Essentially,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
there's aspects of that I like.
yeah. Hmm.
Um, but there's other aspects where it's kind of, I do feel like there's some levels in which this is predominantly Endeavor's fault.
Oh sure. Well, and I think that's kind of what they're all saying is
Mhm.
that there's a lot of shoulda, woulda, couldas here. It
Sure.
is mainly Endeavor's fault, but they're like, let us lighten that burden for you.
Right.
Yeah. It is
Because
primarily his. He is kind of the root of all this, but nobody
right.
else made it any better.
Right. Well, because it's like not only is it how he acted,
Hmm.
but it was also his plan,
Yeah,
right?
it was his plan. Yeah.
He took the initiative in creating this marriage and being being sort of the captain of the ship, if you will.
Oh sure. Yeah.
And so I feel like he has a larger responsibility to, like, if he sets out to um create this ultimate child for defeating All Might purposes or whatever,
Uh huh.
or just being the best in general. He has to he had a certain duty and obligation morally or spiritually or
Hmm.
whatever category you want to throw that into, as a person and as a father, to understand that there were human beings being created in this process that still kind of fell under his stewardship.
Oh sure. Yeah.
He's still their
Yeah.
father. He still has a responsibility to them, even if they don't give him what he wants.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I mean, it is cool that they're all backing him up at this point and giving him this opportunity. I
Hmm.
think they, I think they see in Endeavor the capability of captaining this ship at this point. Like, I think he's made some steps towards proving himself capable of leading
Hmm.
this family, and so it's nice to see them sort of back him up and be like, "Hey, you're about to have to do some real hard stuff, so we're gonna get behind you and we're gonna do this thing."
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it's because I guess like going off of that, he set out to do this from a very self-centered point.
Yeah.
He wasn't ever really working as a family unit.
Hmm.
He is separating his children and all that, and choosing one to be like, yep, you're the one who I am going to live vicariously through.
Sure.
So it's kind of bringing all that. They were a bunch of individuals essentially at one point, and now they're all a unit again.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
do think there is some level to which it's like, I don't know if this is better or worse.
Hmm.
It's not arbitrary, the uh the favoritism. I feel like sometimes that's why people are upset about favoritism, because they feel like it's arbitrary and everyone is, you know, equally whatever, and
Hmm.
you know, therefore attention should be distributed equally or something like that.
Uh huh.
Um, in this situation, Shoto's just actually the entity he had set out to create.
Well, I mean, yes, that Endeavor did get what he wanted from
Yeah.
Shoto. But I mean, it's also like, but if Endeavor were, actually a father, he
Yeah.
could still love and
Yeah,
cherish
yeah,
his
no,
kids
I mean,
in give Shoto probably some more attention if he still very much wanted him to be a hero or whatever from a less egocentric point or whatever. And,
Yeah.
and of course Shoto now would very much like to be the best hero he can at everything, and so he is going to give
Right.
him that
Yeah, it's like
individualized attention. But it would be different if he wasn't like, your value to me is the hinge point is whether or not you can be a
yeah.
good hero.
Right, right. It's very true what Rhea said in that argument where he very much brings this up. He says he only knows the world of heroes, and so that's all he can really provide. And
Mhm.
she says, "You're running away."
Yeah, yeah.
And I think there is a level to which there could be like an equilibrium struck here. Like obviously, if he is a talented hero, it's like if your father was a brilliant pianist and you and all your siblings uh were the sons of this brilliant pianist, sons and daughters of this brilliant pianist, and one of the kids decides that he's going to try and be a brilliant pianist himself,
Uh-huh.
and so he spends a lot of time with pops
Oh,
playing the
yeah, yeah.
piano.
Mhm.
Whereas because that just sort of slots into his life because this dude's already playing piano all the time,
Oh, sure, yeah, yeah, yeah.
and this kid decides to come alongside and play piano with him.
Mhm.
So that'll obviously lead to some disparity in time, but it
Oh,
doesn't
sure.
have to lead to the absolute drought of attention
Yeah.
that that Endeavor was forcing on the other three children.
Exactly, yeah, because he's, all he knows is heroes, but it's like, yeah, but you also, you're a parent now. You do have to do a little bit of a sacrifice to be a parent, and you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
hang
absolutely.
out with your kids somewhat. You don't have to hang out with them all the time, but, you know?
Yeah, it's like I guess maybe it expresses some of the difficulty of being like such a machine, or maybe it's like a parallel to like Japanese workaholism, right?
Oh, sure, yeah, yeah.
Where it's just like this is the only thing I am because this is all I do. It's like,
Right,
hey,
yeah.
Endeavor, like watch a movie, man. Get into find some hobbies maybe that you can.
Build that house together.
That's true. Yeah, if he can teach them all carpentry, they don't have to be heroes or use fire and or ice powers to do carpentry, you know?
Yeah. They would all be on equal footing with
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously Endeavor's got a little bit of an advantage because he's just jacked.
Yeah,
Just
true, yeah,
jacked
yeah.
as all hell. So,
He
I
he
mean,
is, he's a big guy.
he's gonna have to move the logs probably, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they can probably equally help out with whatever other components is a part of making a house or building a log cabin. I
Yeah,
imagine
yeah,
it
yeah.
as a log cabin in
You're
my brain.
imagining it as a log
Yeah.
cabin. Sure. Well, because we already like it, the whole Shoto ripping up his floors in his dorm room to replace them with tatami mats. He already knows how to do interior design.
Yeah, yeah, there's a little bit of that.
Yeah,
But seriously,
so yeah.
the I'm picturing it as a log cabin. I
Uh-huh.
think this is important because I feel
Yeah.
like log cabins really encapsulate the fire and ice motif, okay?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I see where you're
You
going,
you
yeah.
can see it, there's the snow falling, it's very icy outside, but inside it's all warm and cozy. And that
Horikoshi, take notes.
I wanna see him build this house, I
Take
really do.
notes. I still, again, he said in a convenient place
Yeah,
for
that's
you
true.
all.
I
It's
guess
not
it's
gonna be. I mean, well, okay, so let's say they all stay in the current house that they are living in,
right.
and they build a vacation home in the mountains.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like
Yeah.
maybe after they build this house,
Hmm.
they realize that this is like a real beautiful bonding sort of experience
Hmm.
that they can share together. And so they go on to in the spring or summertime maybe go out to the mountains and build this log cabin so that it's ready for the winter. You know? Horikoshi, do
Yep.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on.
It's
We got it right here for you.
this is money on the table, man, you
Yeah.
know?
Why aren't you listening to this
Imagine the
podcast with 2 subscribers?
imagine the log cabin endeavor Todoroki family playset selling like hotcakes.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Imagine all the weebs that would buy this like figure or whatever.
Model kit. Model kit, man.
Yeah, model
You
kit.
make the house.
Yeah, you build the house just like your favorite endeavor. Money on the table, man.
Money on the
You're
table.
just leaving it.
I mean, they already have like if you go on like the Crunchyroll site, there's like over 100 different figures for My Hero.
Oh God.
There's so many. Well, I think they're
Okay.
including like Funko
Hey,
Pop and stuff. So
side tangent real quick.
yeah,
I've been seeing this stupid Crunchyroll ad, okay?
yeah.
With
So,
Monkey D. Luffy just like bouncing around. He's got white hair, white
oh,
clothes.
okay. There we go. Yeah, I
Yeah.
get. Why are they spoiling that for people?
What the hell is that?
Okay, so I'm about to drop some big old One Piece
Big old
spoilers.
One Piece
Y'all
spoilers.
get out of here. If you haven't finished Wano, you get out of here. Okay.
I don't even know what that is.
Wano is an arc that went on for like 4 years. Okay, that's all you
Holy
need to
crap.
know. Okay, so you know how Luffy took a bite of gum gum, as the theme song so tells us.
Yeah. The original awesome Funimation.
The 4 kids,
Yeah, 4 kids,
One Piece
whatever.
rap. Okay, so
Took a
the gum
bite
gum
of the
fruit,
gum
right?
gum
So
fruit.
are you familiar with the 3 types of devil fruits?
No, I don't associate with the devil.
Okay, well, okay, so there's 3 types. Paramethea, which gives you some kind of superpower. You know, some kind of
Hmm.
like Luffy's, for example, rubber, being made of rubber, Paramethea. Zoan, which is to transform into an animal. So that's like Chopper. He can turn into, well, his was human fruit, right?
Right.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I'm making sure. I don't know what you know about One Piece.
I don't know anything. This is all
Okay.
news to me.
And then there's Logia, which is you can turn into an element, which Luffy's brother ate the flame fruit or whatever they call it in English. Um and he can turn into fire.
Can turn into fire?
Yeah, he can make himself into fire.
Man, this is so stupid.
Okay. So it turns out, and well, it's like I don't know how
Yeah,
to
I'm gonna
feel
hate
about
this.
this. You probably are. You're probably gonna hate this. Okay, so it turns out, and let me just say, I absolutely do not believe this was planned from the beginning. I'm not sure at what point Oda sat down and thought, "Yeah, I'm gonna do this instead."
Uh-huh.
It turns out that Luffy's double fruit is not the gum gum fruit.
It's not the gum fruit.
Secretly,
It's the
it
munka
was
munka fruit.
it was the human fruit model Nika, which is there can be models of things. There's a guy who ate the human fruit
What?
model Buddha. Okay, so
What?
so he ate the fruit model Nika, and Nika is some kind of Sun Wukong-esque demigod figure.
What?
So, like, as I was telling a friend of mine, I'm really cool with the whole transformation in itself. I don't like the fact that it was like a secret fruit and stuff, and it really retcons some things that we know about devil fruits, whatever. You know, there's way too much to explain here, and this is all you're gonna get, essentially.
Wait, but why did it make him rubbery?
That's like Nico's just like that, I guess.
Okay.
I get well.
And
So if he is indeed, well, it's like the whole making him. So he's secretly a Zoan when we thought he was a Paramethea. And so I don't know what his half form is. So because there's
yeah, so it's like,
you get a
why
man
does
form, a
he?
beast form, and a man beast form. And
Why
I
did
don't
it take him this long to transform into something?
exactly. That's why I don't believe this was planned from the beginning. And anybody who
Yeah,
argues it, I haven't seen anybody argue that this was planned from the
this
beginning.
was the plan the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So like I'm cool with like he does a lot of Tom and Jerry Looney Tunes-esque shenanigans whenever he transforms, and they call it Gear 5 because he had Gear 4 and 3 and 2 before it. So
What does that mean?
I'm not explaining all the gears, okay?
Do you ever do you ever wonder what sort of information you could have in your head if you didn't have all this One Piece information there?
I want the One Piece information though.
You
What
ever
else would I do?
you
What
ever
else would
think
I
of like
do?
the stockpiles of like brain space that this is taking up?
A brain is a muscle. The more you use it, the better.
You ever wonder if like all that space could have cured cancer or something? You know?
Luke, I don't think I'm gonna be one to cure cancer.
Well,
Like,
not if you're watching fucking One Piece. That's
but so yeah, so that's where we're at. I like all his little Looney Tunes-esque shenanigans. I'm fine with
yeah.
all that. I don't love this whole retconning of the name of the fruit and all that. I'm not a big fan of the retconning, and a lot of people feel it's getting into like kind of chosen one territory, you know?
Yeah, it seems really dumb.
Yeah, like, but I'm like half fine with it. It's another Sun Wukong character. When I said
Sure.
that Luffy, I was just editing the episode where I was bringing up Sun Wukong-esque characters, that being like Goku from Dragon Ball Z and
the Journey to the East guy
Journey
or
to the
whatever.
West.
Whatever.
Journey to the West. Sun Wukong. And so what was it? Shirakumo, the guy who was introduced in the middle of like last season or whatever, and we haven't brought him up ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. Also, Sun Wukong, and Luffy is very literally Sun Wukong, essentially.
Is that why they called him Monkey?
Yeah, I think that's what Oda was going for.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he just decided to go like really literal with it very recently.
When is the Mexican kid or what's his ethnicity? The dude who's playing Luffy
playing him in the live action?
In the live action, Hispanic. He's just some sort of Hispanic
I think he's Mexican, I think, right?
Yeah, I thought he was from Mexico. Whatever.
I'll have to look it up, yeah.
When's that guy gonna turn into a monkey?
I don't think
that happening in the show.
Well, again, I don't think he's. So, well, when I say a Sun Wukong-esque character, it's not literally a monkey.
Yeah, I mean, he was way more monkey-esque in this stupid ad I saw.
No, he's not. No, I don't think that's. I don't know. It's not supposed to be. It's still the human fruit. Just different model.
He was just like hopping around and yelling, and it was really weird.
I think that is like a really weird way to introduce One Piece to people.
I didn't get the appeal at all. I was just
no.
Why is this guy hopping around and yelling?
Yeah, I don't think that's a great way to advertise One Piece to people, but
Yeah.
I'm ride or die with that show now. I will
Okay.
watch it to
Yeah.
the end.
You've devoted so much time. That's what I'm saying, man. It's
Well,
like,
it's not even a time sink thing. It's that I still enjoy it and would like
oh,
to think
sure,
more
sure.
about the mysteries. Like,
I I gotcha. All I'm saying is that, if there is no determinism, if will is truly free, then there are children out there with the brain capacity and the right raw elements to cure cancer who are not doing so right now because they started watching One Piece.
I really don't think that being into a piece of media and being deeply into a piece of like I'm still
Yeah,
like I'm learning all kinds of new stuff at my job right now, and I don't think
yeah.
One Piece is pushing any of that out of me.
I hope not.
It's not. It's good. It's good to know a bunch of lore. It's good for the brain. You exercise.
Yeah, yeah. Amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, that side tangent.
Yeah, Crunchyroll, get better ads, man.
Yeah. Well, I just think that well, just to show something so late into One
Mhm.
Piece, like that's so late. It's after episode 1000 that came out.
Yeah, well, they're trying to advertise Mr. Monkey Man.
Well, and that's the thing. There's like a ton of like merchant stuff
Yeah,
of Gear 5.
yeah.
So,
So
yeah.
it's like, hey guys, come watch this show. 1,000 episodes in, he turns into a monkey man.
Yeah, I don't know what
That's
they're
my
going to do
ad.
with One Piece live action like where they're going to go with it.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
oh yeah. This live action show is gonna go on for 20 years.
hope not for everyone's sake of being able to work on different projects one day.
Yeah. Have you seen the dwarves? The dwarves for Snow White? I'm
I
staying
think I
on
did see
the
a
I'm
picture.
staying off the rails for now. We're
Okay, well, let's stay off the rails for a moment. I think I did see them. I didn't like. I
yeah.
just saw it like on my phone, so I didn't give a real good look at this.
Well, they're CG dwarves. It's weird.
Yeah, okay, I think I remember that. Let's see. Oh
Why wouldn't
yeah,
you just get
I'm
people
seeing
with
it now.
actual dwarfism?
Yeah, it was like live pictures. Okay, because I mean, I understand for the kind of more cartoonish look that they are trying to give them, but I'm
Yeah.
also like,
Well,
uh,
and it's not even like they're not even doing the Pinocchio thing where it's like they're just recreating the original character designs. They're
uh-huh.
very different and they're very bad. They don't even look interesting. Like I can't even like
Yeah,
look at them and tell who's happy, who's grumpy.
I mean, like, only because I sort of like I know, like, I'm looking at it right now. I'm like, okay, I know that's Dopey because he doesn't have a beard.
Mhm.
That's like piece of trivia there is. And I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
Doc because he wears glasses, and that's about it. And I think
Yeah,
Grumpy is
yeah.
the one on the right with the red.
Maybe. But who
I think that's
knows?
him.
And it's like, why make it one, it's really strange to me when there's like live real people and
Mm.
then there's CG fantasy
Also,
people
yeah.
because
I get what
they're
you
still
mean. Yeah,
humanoids. They're still
yeah,
humanoids.
yeah.
Like it's not like putting a cartoon like anthropomorphic rabbit or something. It's not a
Mm.
Zemeckis like Roger Rabbit sort of situation. Or well, I mean, I guess those are just so distinct, and that was like the point of the movie, right? Because I guess you have
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Jessica Rabbit and some human but it's like when you're making a CG thing where the goal is to make it look as realistic as possible
And then put them next to like a real
and then
person.
put them next to a real person, it just makes it really obvious that it looks bad. Like I wonder if I heard it got delayed. So I wonder if we're gonna get a Sonic the Hedgehog situation.
Oh.
I wonder if Disney's teeing up for a Sonic the Hedgehog rebrand, like, hey, let's reveal the crappy looking thing and then we'll make it look better and maybe people will come see our movie.
Okay, it's the delay is in response to the SAG-AFTRA ongoing labor strike.
That's what they say.
Okay. But you're like they're pulling a Sonic over here.
Well, because like it got delayed and then this leak happened, right?
Oh, sure.
So I'm thinking they leaked it from the inside
And they're kind of,
so
well,
that people would.
do you think they're more hoping for like some feedback, or do you think they made it purposely? Like, because I don't think it looks too bad, if I'm being honest. But I'm saying this
Yeah.
from a still photo that to me almost looks like a painting. That I'd be like, oh,
Sure.
that's a kind of okay painting or whatever. But I don't know what they look like in motion. I don't know how uncanny it'll be when they move their mouths or whatever.
Yeah. At my fullest crackpot conspiracy theory,
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's totally an inside job and they made it
Mm.
bad on purpose. I could be open to the possibility that they made it bad and they thought it was good. They were
Yeah,
like, "Oh,
because
yeah, this is
yeah,
a really good decision, guys. I'm a TV executive at Disney."
yeah. I mean, well, because I mean, they made like
Somewhere.
all these live action remakes that all look really like flat and kind of
Yeah,
boring and
because
gray.
as we all know from listening to You Hate Movies, which we all do, uh,
Uh-huh.
movie executives don't know their rear end from the door, you know?
Nice.
And
Oh
so,
boy. Yeah, yeah.
I could see a world in which, someone said, "Hey, what if we made the dwarves CG and didn't do it super well?"
Yeah, well,
And
it's
the
just like,
executive goes like, "Hell yeah, that sounds like a great idea."
wow, making something from scratch and not from real life sure does give you a lot of creative liberties. It's almost as if you could like do that with
Yeah.
the entire movie, make it animated.
Wait, hold on. Brian's calling me. Give me a second.
Yeah, I'll give you a sec.
Sorry, I had to communicate with Brian about that.
Cool.
He's sending me a 4K copy of Donnie Darko,
Ooh.
uh, you know, via the interwebs.
Oh, nice.
So not physical.
Oh, okay.
And so we're
Ooh,
using an end-to-end encrypted file transfer service
nice.
for this
Interesting.
thing.
Oh.
And so our computers have to be on at the same time,
Mm.
and my internet here is kinda bad, so
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
talking
yeah.
to me about going to maybe I go to a coffee shop after this and
Oh, yeah.
get on
That'll be
free
cool for
public
you.
Wi-Fi and see if it'll work a little better.
Nice. Get yourself some 4K, man.
Yeah, yeah, it'll be nice because I've noticed I've got this 4K TV now. I've, uh I've realized a lot of streaming services do not offer. Well, they offer a 4K upgrade if you so choose. You can like on Netflix, you can pay extra each month
For
for
4K.
4K.
Mm.
But even then, 4K streaming is
Different than, yeah, having the physical
it seems like
copy, yeah.
yeah, 4K just is a very dense format. This file's like 6 gigabytes that he's sending me.
Woof.
And yeah, so it's huge and it's 4K is just not for streaming. I'm excited to get this player and to start watching physical discs for my
Nice.
4K experience.
Physical discs.
Yeah, I feel like that'll be
Awesome.
the better options.
Mm. Yeah, collect physical media, y'all. It's hard to find certain things.
Yeah, yeah.
It's Well, because so I read this is interesting. To stay off the rails. So I've been reading Hunter x Hunter, and I was interested in
Hunter X Hunter.
It's not you don't pronounce the X, but okay.
Why is it there?
I don't know. It looks cool. So I was looking around and I found out that Nowhere streams the 1999 Hunter x Hunter, and also they only made a limited amount of
Nowhere.
Nowhere has it. Nowhere has it. As in, it doesn't stream on any platform.
It's not.
Who's on first?
I was like, what the crap is this? What is this strangely named streaming service?
No, I mean that no one has it.
You want to go in on a streaming service called Nowhere, where we just like collect
Streaming Nowhere.
Yeah, so we can just collect all the like odds and ends that people here. Like, here's an example.
Yeah.
Donnie Darko, right?
Yeah.
I had to get this 4K Donnie Darko download.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from my guy,
Yeah.
Because the 4K Donnie Darko is only streaming on like Freevee and stuff with ads.
Oh, gross.
There's no option to buy.
Oh.
It's like, let me
buy things.
Because like
we own things.
I did finally get the a buying option on Amazon Prime.
Mm-hmm.
I got a buying option on Amazon Prime, but then it turned out it wasn't the director's cut.
Oh, okay.
It only let me purchase the theatrical cut, and I'm like, why would I do that? Why would I watch the theatrical cut of this cult classic?
Right.
Seems like a dumb thing to do.
But yeah, interesting, huh? But yeah, with Hunter x Hunter, I have my ways of watching it that aren't official streaming services.
Apple TV is finally working.
Ooh.
Apple TV hasn't been letting me sign in for the past couple of days.
Oh, nice.
I gotta scan this QR code real quick.
Cool, go for it.
This is the best and most professional podcast.
We're so good at this.
Yeah,
this is why we
honestly,
subscribers.
I think if people just listen, they'd have a good time, you know.
They would. We do have fun here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Well, sick. I can watch Ted Lasso now.
Nice.
I can watch Ted Lasso in 4K.
Yeah. I've got things I should probably watch on
Apple
TV.
They got Killers of the Flower Moon streaming.
Well, yeah, because they produced it.
Yeah, I didn't realize they would have it out simultaneously.
Oh yeah.
I still need to go to theaters to see that though. I'd rather see it in theaters personally.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I want to see it on that IMAX screen.
Oh, to stay in. This was interesting. There have been some theaters interjecting their own intermission into this movie.
Why would they do that?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I understand the thought there, and I understand how you might think that might be like courteous or something, and I'm all for bringing back the intermission, but this movie was not designed to have an intermission. So therefore, you should not put one in.
Yeah, that's bad.
Like, because we saw The Hateful Eight with an intermission, but that intermission was by design. There's narration and everything. Like, it's supposed to be there. I think they're trying to crack down on theaters that are doing illegal intermissions like this.
Goodness.
Which, I think
Yeah. I mean,
don't
I
want
guess
an
they were trying to
intermission.
follow the trend of everybody saying online, hey, it'd be cool if we brought intermissions back. But it's like, I would want the movie to
Mhm.
want to have an intermission in it, you know? Like, I need it to have its built in and
Yeah,
written around an intermission.
this is great. I have a bunch of access now to. I've got Fight Club. I've got
Nice.
Men. Did you ever see Men?
I never saw Men.
Men was great.
Nice.
I've got Ex Machina.
Mm-hmm.
I got Who's That Knocking at My Door. I've got Children Who Chase Lost Voices. This is these three that I are four actually. I have 4 movies from the frickin' what's his name? The Weathering with You guy, Your Name guy.
I'm looking that up right now. I just Makoto Shinkai.
The Garden of
Makoto.
Words. I watched 5 centimeters per second recently. It was okay.
Yeah.
It was definitely beautifully animated. The story was a little they also they got one of those female dub voice actors, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That like uh, is trying to do the like I'm a shy girl thing,
Mm-hmm.
and so she speaks in this sort of like monotone to
Mm.
convey that, I guess. I
Yeah, and
don't
it's
like
hard to
it.
pull that off sometimes.
I don't like it. I'm
Yeah,
not a fan. It makes all the like romantic letters and stuff that they read throughout the
not work.
movie not work for me. I'm just sitting here, but
Hmm.
then I don't want to listen to it in Japanese either and just
Yeah,
like read the words. There's something hot take maybe on this anime podcast. I think there's something to uh the hearing of your own dialect. I
hmm
think in sort of there's subtleties that you can pick out of the way lines are delivered by their correspondence to your lived experience or experience with like other movies or TV
hmm
shows, et cetera, et cetera. You just human
sure.
experience watching humans interact with things even in fictional settings, you know. And so
Yeah.
you can convey some of that onto animation with voice actors
Oh yeah. No,
and
I'm all with you on that. I mean,
yeah,
I guess a counter argument would be it expands your horizons to hear different voices. You know,
I could see that, but I just think a lot of the time it seems to me like the argument for watching subs
mhm.
is that dubs are bad.
That
Like
is often the argument.
I
Yeah.
think we could acknowledge that if dubs were good, they
Mhm.
would be the superior way to experience a piece of media. If the dub
It
is
all
in your
depends.
language, if
Again,
the dub
it
is
all
in your
depends. Like
language,
I would never want to, say I don't think I'd ever want to watch the movie like say Parasite dubbed,
I think I'm talking specifically animation.
specifically animation.
I
Okay.
think dubs over live action movies are weird. Yeah,
Yeah, they are very weird.
yeah,
But I would say I don't know. Well, and here's the thing. I like dubs and I think that translation in itself is like an art form,
yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? It's really interesting. I don't know, because there's a certain amount of localization that happens whenever you
Mhm.
translate something, and I don't think
Yeah.
that's necessarily always a bad thing. Sometimes it is cool to learn something new about like Japan or whatever. Like this is a thing we do here in Japan. But sometimes because it's not like a big spotlight, I guess to bring it back to like My Hero.
Mhm.
If you remember that scene, it was in the Christmas episode where Eri is she doesn't know what Christmas is, so she keeps referencing other holidays.
Uh-huh.
And so she's saying, "Oh, trick or treat" and stuff like that. And at
Mhm.
one point she throws some rice and she says, "In sickness and in health."
Mhm.
Because over here in the West, we throw rice at weddings.
Yeah.
She was actually saying something else in Japanese. She was talking about like some kind of cleansing ritual
Yeah.
that we would not be aware of. Now you can put a little nice footnote in a manga whenever somebody does something like that. You can't really do that as well in anime. I would almost sometimes it would be cool if they could just put a little asterisk on screen. But other times they're just like, we're just gonna make the joke work because this isn't a show about a Japanese cleansing ritual. This is a show about heroes and stuff. We don't have to bring a lot of attention to this line.
Yeah, and I respect that, you know.
Yeah.
I respect the changes that are sort of in order. It's a preservation of the vibe kind of thing. It's like if jokes are being made and they're very culturally specific, and you can find jokes in that same vibe that work for the region you're translating to, I don't see any harm in sort of changing those out. You know?
Sure. And one I've been listening to there's a podcast called The Original Pokemon, because it's Michael Hagney, who he was a director and writer on the original Pokemon 4Kids dub of Pokemon.
The 4Kids dub, the infamous 4Kids dub.
And so a lot of the podcast is a little bit apologetic, but he's also very much like, you know, and this is why I did this, and this is why I did that, and I wanted to interject some humor into that. So he's kind of going episode by episode and talking about his recollection of writing for, because he would get a kind of more direct translation, and then he would get it to match the lip flaps.
Yeah, exactly.
And he would also localize some jokes or whatever. So it's just been very interesting to hear about that process.
Remember when Brock used his frying pan as a drying pan? Classic.
See, I'm very like, One Piece was pretty bad, but like, come on, Pokemon was fine. Come on, guys.
I mean, we also have like, we grew up watching the 4Kids Pokemon.
Also grew up watching the 4Kids One Piece. I don't like it very much.
Okay, well, is there an alternative Pokemon? Because I guess maybe
there's not an alternative. Well, so you can find. Again, you can't find it on streaming services here in America, but like,
can you find it on nowhere?
You can find it in the places that I find anime that isn't on streaming services.
Gotcha. The same place my friend found Donnie Darko in 4K.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So I like, because I've seen like the you know the episode that gave a bunch of kids seizures.
Yeah.
I've seen that episode. I've found it.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, because I'm not photosensitive.
Did you get a seizure?
No, because I don't have epilepsy. No. And I've also seen the one with all the guns in it.
Do you think if you like watch it a bunch of times, eventually you will get a seizure?
I think if I just found a GIF, again, I'm not a photosensitive person, so I don't think that would do that to me. Fair enough. It's red and blue flashing lights, which again, if you do have epilepsy, not good. Not good for you. Don't watch that. But yeah, you can find like with internet access now, I think people are a little less salty about dubs and their existence, unless they just really want to fight with people on Twitter. But like, you can find things now pretty easily if you really want to find them.
Yeah. But I've got like a friend who, you know, we're watching the Evangelion rebuild movies, and he's salty about me wanting to watch it in the dub.
Uh-huh.
I mean, he agreed. He's not being too salty about it, but you know.
Yeah. I just
like,
again with a big action show too, like because sometimes characters will be fighting and also monologuing at the same time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want to look at what's happening and moving and not have to read while watching that, you know?
Yeah.
Like I had trouble with that with the One Piece Red movie because they got all these songs playing and they're not dubbed songs. So I would like read the lyrics and then I'd just kind of go, I get what the song's about. I'll just watch the fighting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it seems, I don't know. It's like too. I think it's sort of um the multitasking argument, right? Like if multitasking is not like truly possible. So
Interesting. Yeah.
I think there's a degree to which, like, if I'm having to read while I'm watching a thing, there's just my eyes can't be on two things at once.
Well, it's funny because like I watch things subtitled, but of course I'm following along with the characters speaking, and because they're
Yeah,
saying the same things as the subtitles are saying.
I've kind of gotten away from using subtitles. I've
Oh, okay.
noticed that, especially if they're too big, they can be more distracting than helpful.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because like the other day I was like sitting down to watch After Hours, and I was like, uh, almost didn't watch it with subtitles on, but I was like, no, I want them, so I did.
Nice.
Yeah.
I still need to watch After Hours.
Yeah, you should. It's an interesting one. I give it 3 out of 5. Not in like it's well, 3 is good for me personally, but only because it's supposed to be a dark comedy. I don't think it really made me laugh, but it was certainly very interesting. It was very Bright Lights, Big City in a lot of ways.
Ooh, I like Bright Lights, Big City.
With less addiction.
Oh man,
Yeah, I'm
addiction's the
sorry.
best part of Bright Lights,
Yeah,
Big
I'm
City.
sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's less about addiction.
Yeah, but like, I'll be interested to see if I find it funny or not.
Yeah, maybe you will. Yeah.
3 to me is solid. If I give a movie a 3, it's sort of an experience of like, that was cool, but you know, not anything more than that.
Yeah, well, and I thought, it's enriching, It's Scorsese. It's enriching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'll love to hear the commentary on it, so.
Yeah, I want that 4K Blu-ray myself.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay, so we've gone on like 5.
Yeah, that was a lot of tangents. Yeah.
Yeah, so did you have anything you wanted to say
I feel like we
about
pretty much said everything there was to say about the Todoroki family episode.
I think so. I mean, yeah.
Except maybe
we're not going for the blow by blows here, but yeah.
Sure. There is the I do find it even more questionable in this episode in particular, the decision to have Hawks need to communicate on a phone with like
that
text to
was
speech or whatever.
interesting. I mean, yeah, because it's like they could have just decided that he's all better now. He's fine. He can.
Yeah,
can
it's
talk.
like this is a fictional world in which a man can be impaled by a spire and like live for the next 5 hours so he can deliver his last words to his students or whatever. You know, you guys obviously are aware that you're not constrained by the laws of logic. So it's like, if you wanted to write a scenario where Hawks got messed up but he didn't lose his vocal cords or whatever, that would just be standard fare. I don't understand the obsession in this little arc here of having people's vocal cords damaged or whatever. It's like,
I don't know.
What a weird thing to specifically put the spotlight on and not have it be like symbolic or serve any purpose, because it's like he's not unable to communicate. He's still communicating. It's just in this weird robot voice.
True. Yeah, because he is better by the time they have that press conference.
Yeah, it serves no purpose.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that.
Yeah.
Also,
it's a Horikoshi thing, right? He decided that in the manga.
Was in the manga, and of course, maybe when you're writing the manga, you don't think I was gonna be sounding like this in the anime. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's like that was funny, like for like one scene where he's like having to type furiously to respond.
Yeah,
But then
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just like, okay, why are we doing this? This is stupid. It doesn't even sound like him. It's got this
Yeah, yeah.
weird robot-y tinge to it, and
Oh, yeah, yeah,
this is
yeah.
a serious moment. And he's doing this, and then Best Jeanist is talking about how this is like more dangerous than black market denim or something, and it's just like, what are you talking about,
Well,
dude?
and I like that they had Todoroki comment on that. Like, why? Jeanist, we're
Yeah,
having a serious conversation in here, and I would appreciate it if you didn't
Best
bring your
Jeanist Best
metaphors
Jeanist
in
is
here.
incapable. He's incapable of existing in civilized society where we're, adults and we're having conversations about things that are,
It's gonna
of
be a
grave
hard.
importance.
This is gonna be a hard runway to walk down.
Yeah, it's like, what are you talking about, dude? Can you
Oh my
you're
god.
making this your whole personality.
I mean, he's the best.
Also,
Yeah, yeah.
it's a little inappropriate. I noticed that his belt buckle says BJ. It's like, please stop.
You didn't
We
think
need
about his
to.
international audience.
Yeah, this is awful. I hate this.
That would have been censored in the 4Kids dub. They would have caught that.
Yeah, I hate Best Jeanist.
He's number 3, man. He's in this alliance as the top
He
3 heroes.
sucks. He sucks. And they made him that stupid tux for the next episode, the
Yeah,
stupid suit.
it's not a very flattering look for him.
I hate Best Jeanist. He's the worst. On record.
I love him for his silliness.
Yeah. Yeah, you would.
Yeah, I would. I like silly things. Yeah. Yeah, what else? Yeah, I mean that's basically it. And then like Hawks
Yeah.
is all up in there and asking the really inappropriate questions. Really, hey, how'd you get that burn, Todoroki? He's like, shut up. Why
Yeah, that
are you
was
asking
crazy.
that? That's a little nosy.
Did they start asking the questions about One for All at the end of this episode?
They did. That's when they started asking, and it's like, okay, finally, to some less personal questions.
I've got some tangents for this as well.
Oh, let's go. Let's hear what do you have about One for All?
Yeah, so I find it really, really funny that there existed this that this is the storyline we're being led to believe that for like what 40 more like this has been going on for a long time. All for One, right?
Yeah, All for One, One for All. This has all been going on. Well, it's been going on since the beginning of Quirks, which was however many generations ago.
Yeah, it's been a couple hundred years, maybe
100-something years. Yeah, give or take.
Couple hundred, I would say,
Yeah.
like maybe 200.
Yeah, maybe 200. I think.
With how many people have had it, even though they're all having it for like 30-ish year spans, maybe 20-ish.
Yeah, maybe
some of them
less
are
than that,
shorter.
some of them, yeah.
But then we know All Might's run was 40 years, right?
About 40 years, yeah.
So anyway, maybe cracking 200 years here. There's
Yeah.
been this dude running around called All for One.
Uh-huh.
And nobody was like, where's One for All?
Well, I'm trying to figure out, like, if I can't remember, has the public been aware of All for One?
I don't know. I
Until
find
now?
it hard to believe that this like super bad guy has just been pulling strings and doing crimes and switching people's quirks and stuff like that. He was kind of, because like in the origin story with him and his brother,
Yeah.
he was seemed like he was kind of mob bossing a bit. He was he was active in the community until ostensibly until All Might took him out, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, good point there.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah. But
Yeah, I don't know why why nobody asked why there's no one for all.
Yeah, and then here's another thought I had. You
Yeah.
know, they always show these people's quirks, and they all have stupid names for their quirks. Most of them
Yes. Yeah.
have really dumb names like hot and cold, or
Yeah.
just really scraping the bottom of the barrel of quirk names here.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, everyone knows each other's quirk names. These aren't secrets.
Yes.
These aren't hidden in any capacity. What did everyone think All Might's quirk was named for all these years?
You know, I don't know what he registered his as, but I think like officially Deku did not register his quirk as one for all. I think
Yeah.
he just registered it as, and I don't know if this is an anime only thing or if this is somewhere in the manga, superpower.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, which is,
Yeah.
I guess that's fine, but it's
Yeah.
like, are they both going to get away with that?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I don't know if you have to have a unique name for your quirk or something like that. If another guy with half hot and half cold shows up, I don't think they're gonna like say, "I'm sorry, we
Every
can't
hero thus
register your
far,
quirk here."
every hero thus far has had a unique quirk name.
Well, I mean, yeah, because I mean that's just who we've been introduced to. But like canonically,
Yeah.
Davi said something along the lines of, "A lot of people have flame quirks. You're not that remarkable."
Yeah, but they all
So
come
I
up
don't
with
think
different
everybody has to
dumb
have a
names.
different name.
They have access to a thesaurus, you know.
I mean, they do, but what I'm saying is I don't think they have to do that. But if you are, say,
Yeah.
like Endeavor, and you want to be a top hero and
Mhm.
have brand recognition, you're gonna say, yes, my quirk is Hellflame. So,
Right. But I mean, the real answer is Horikoshi didn't come up with, or at least didn't put into writing what
yeah,
people called All Might's
quirk. Yeah,
quirk,
I don't know. He might have just said it was super
because this
strength or
is
something.
stupid.
He might have just called it super strength or something. I'm not sure. I wonder, is that on the wiki anywhere?
This is dumb.
Yeah, I don't know if that's on the wiki anywhere, but I will
Yeah.
take a short look. But yeah, I don't think he does.
Yeah.
Um,
But that was just really funny to me, is that like, because I guess until you find out later
mhm.
about, all the different people who have had it and whatnot, and then you find out that a lot of people who had it had previous quirks.
Yeah.
Most of the people who have had it, there's some level of cover here.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
There's like some base quirk. All Might and Deku are really the only ones who haven't had a quirk,
Mhm.
who got this thing. So they're the only ones who have had to deal with this situation where it's like, "Hey, All Might, what's your quirk called?" He's like,
Again, I'm sure he had like a plan and an answer there, but we
yeah,
don't get to hear ourselves, and I don't know. Did No, Deku never said, "Oh, it's a secret," whatever his quirk is, or the public doesn't know his name. I don't think we ever heard like a line like that. I'm sure he just put it down as either superpower or super strength or something like that.
Yeah, but it's just kind of, I don't know. It's fun.
It is something in your mind. Yeah.
The bringing up that people had no idea what One for All was until now.
Uh-huh.
It opens some doors to some hilarious in-universe sort of
Implications.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's just like,
I get you.
I had kind of assumed that he just called it One for All.
Oh,
Because
really?
I had thought like All Might had said some like cheesy One for All stuff. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's One for
No,
All is just like,
he's
so
naming
his
the
one
states.
his vibe was the states and stuff, but also His vibe was like, I am here, and man, I made you yawn even through.
I'm very. I'll yawn when they should my psychology teacher showed us like a video of people yawning.
Mhm.
Yeah, I yawned
You're
with
so
that.
impressionable.
I am very impressionable. I'm an empath.
You're an empath, oh man. But yeah, it's like so. He had stuff like the "I am here" and stuff, and that all
Yeah,
felt
yeah.
kinda corny in the same way that, like, "One for all." You
Yeah.
know? I
All
don't
for
know.
one for all. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, so it's interesting. I'm also kind of like, it's really funny to me that it's been 200 some odd years of keeping this quirk a secret,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Deku ruined it in one.
Yeah, it's like, he did not have to reveal that they were after him in particular.
Yeah,
Or
I mean, I kind of
he
get
could've
it.
he coulda conveyed that without using the words "one for all," because that's sort of the
Yeah.
secret here,
Yes.
is that once you say the words "one for all," it's like, it's not very far to, "Oh, wait, does
Make the
that have
connection.
something to" I love that reporter is like, "What about One for All? Does it have anything to do with the notorious villain All for One?"
For one.
It's like,
He's
"Oh,
asking the
man,
real
no.
questions.
No, those are totally separate. Why would you those are
Yeah.
different words. Why would you think that those are related in some capacity?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Deku really is knocked over a bunch of dominoes here.
Yeah, yeah.
By saying that out loud.
Yeah.
So he's really he ruined it for everybody. I'm
He sure
sorry.
did.
Deku's so bad at this secret identity thing. He can't do it, and that's why he's caved within a year.
Yeah.
He
It's
just can't
insane.
maintain. Um.
It's insane.
So yeah, and that's how we get to the next episode of Deku in his little coma dreams and talking
Yeah.
with the ghosts.
Yeah, mostly just backstory stuff.
Yeah,
One for
yeah. So
all.
we like find out that One for All is such a expansive. That having two quirks in itself, it seems. I don't think it's specifically
Mhm.
because of One for All. Just having multiple quirks just takes
Yeah,
a toll on your body.
the implication was that just, the human body has some level of capacity for quirkness,
Mm-hmm.
and adding more to that ups the balance in a
Yeah.
way, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So having more than one quirk kind of takes a toll on you, it seems.
Which was kinda confusing to me because, like, see, one of the maybe a slight issue with My Hero Academia is that sometimes these concepts sort of build on top of each other,
Uh huh.
and they do it sometimes in confusing ways.
Sure.
Because I was like, when One for All was initially introduced and passed on to Deku, and it was like stockpiling power quirk, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay. So it's just gotten stronger and stronger as people have used it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why All Might's so gosh dang strong. You know,
Yeah.
that's why he's such a beefy boy,
Right. Right.
you
Right.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And and then later on, Horikoshi goes like, "But what if I turn Deku into Spider-Man?" And so
Uh huh.
he starts adding in all these new powers so that Deku can be Spider-Man, and he kind of builds in the concept of like, "Oh yeah, yeah, all the previous quirk owners, they had quirks, and that quirk got gemmed up in the jam of One for All."
Uh huh.
And so I started to think that, oh, it's a stockpiling quirk in the sense that it stockpiles each user's abilities. And
Right. No, it's
and it's getting more and more powerful because they're adding more powers to it.
Mm.
You know? So I was
Yeah,
a little
no.
confused for a moment. I didn't realize that it was more like what I just said, that
Yep.
it just so happened that all these quirk users quirks got gemmed up in the jams of
The
One for All.
stockpiling.
Yeah, of the stockpiling quirk that was
Yeah.
getting stronger and stronger anyway. So it was
Yeah.
like, I guess there was a moment where I was confused, where I wasn't sure if the situation was that if One for All had been passed on to only quirkless people, would it have still gotten stronger every time? I'm guessing. I think
It
the
would.
answer is yes now.
Yeah, the answer is yes, because
Yeah.
we saw what All Might did with it, and he strengthened it and made
Yeah.
it so
Yeah.
it would explode a normal guy who would use it.
Right. Right.
So and like they said, it's kind of reached singularity in itself, and probably shouldn't be passed on to anybody.
Right. Right.
Yeah, unless Deku can find somebody quirkless to pass it on to.
Sure. Sure. But yeah, so that was all interesting.
Mhm.
I do find it interesting that the quirkless are apparently the perfect receptacle for this thing, you know. Kinda,
Yeah.
they came up with an interesting reason for that, you know.
Oh, sure.
But yeah. I do think on some level though, the passing on of multiple abilities is like better.
Well, I think this iteration of uh one for all.
Mhm.
I don't know why the abilities have all showed up like right now.
Well,
It's a plot contrivance or whatever. It's because
yeah.
Horikoshi decided it would.
No, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Horikoshi decided that he would have preferred if he had written a show called Spider-Man.
Well, I don't think that. Like, I don't think. I think yes, he gave Deku some Spider-Man power, but like I
Bro, he added in the danger
Spidey
sense.
sense. Yes, I
Okay?
know he gave him Spidey senses. I think it's an homage. It's not really that you got into that.
It's just like, yeah, he may have given him some of Spider-Man's abilities. It's like, okay, which ones doesn't Deku have? He can't climb on walls. That's it.
Yeah,
That's all he's missing.
yeah. So
Yeah, and
therefore, he's not Spider-Man.
that's not gonna come up
I-
at any point, I'm sure.
Well, I'm saying so. I think from the get-go, I think it was planned that he wanted to give Deku multiple abilities. I don't know if he had decided from the beginning what all those abilities would be,
Yeah.
but I think that was planned from the beginning. This whole Vestiges storyline, at the very least, whether or not
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was always planned for multiple quirks to be happening here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. It is really it is just strange to me that it's happening so late in the game though.
I mean,
It's not One Piece late in the game,
yeah.
but like
Uh-huh.
this stuff just got introduced and we're in the final act.
We are in the final act, but that
Yeah,
final act also happens for like over 100 chapters. So like,
that's so crazy. Do Japanese people not know what final means?
I mean,
Are
well,
they?
again, he didn't quite. So I think there's some comments recently, and I'll have to dig these up. That it was just like where Horikoshi said, "Oh yeah, we have about a year left," and then a year later, he was like, "My bad, guys. And then we got another year to go."
Mm.
So I don't know. I think you can call something the final act even if it is long.
Yeah, sure.
You know?
It's just like I don't know, man. It's like what it starts to to call into question what an act is, right? Like
Sure. I'll give you that.
it's like
Yeah. I call this the final saga.
Yeah,
Final
yeah,
arc.
yeah. You could definitely you could say you could Doctor Strange it and say we've entered the end game.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
which is fair. This is sort of boiling up to the point where it's like, but I'm almost concerned. I don't really see how it can continue going on. Like I don't know. To me this feels like next season should be the last season.
Right. No,
And I'm kind of concerned that it's going a little longer than that, it seems.
it is gonna go, I think, longer than just one more season. Well, I don't know. Was it over 100? Hold on, let me. I've got what chapter is this? Because I don't know if it was over 100. Because I think they could wrap up within maybe a season or two. Oh, okay. No, it was over. It's now almost over 100 chapters.
Yeah, so it's probably at least 2 more
At
seasons,
least
maybe
2
more.
At least
That's
2, I'd
crazy.
say.
I don't think you should be able to put up a sign or whatever that says we've entered the final act, and then have your character saying now we've entered the final act, and then be like 2 more seasons. We're doing this 2 more seasons.
I mean, I guess if it does end up being what, that would be 8 seasons. Therefore,
a lot of seasons.
Yeah, so therefore the first 6 were the first 2 acts, and then the final act 2 more.
Yeah, I guess you could probably divide it up decently well from that, but I don't know. It's I am excited for the final act. I hope it's good. I really am enjoying that they've gone this darker route with the loss of faith in heroes and stuff like that. I don't know if they're going to be able to tie this up in a bow.
Sure.
It'll be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah.
And then of course we have Deku becoming a vigilante at the end of the show. I was wondering that. I was like, oh, is this when the Vigilantes series starts or whatever? Or
Okay, so Vigilantes is set
Mhm.
prior to My Hero Academia.
Oh, okay.
It's not about Deku.
Gotcha. Okay.
Deku is like alluded to at like one point, but it's like set like 4 years in advance. So it's about the arc about Shirakumo is because Aizawa is contemplating whether he should start teaching at UA.
Okay.
So it's about like him deciding that and stuff like that. So it's set prior. So no, Vigilantes is not about Deku. It's about a whole different guy.
I'd forgotten who Shirakumo was, so I had to just Google that.
Oh. That's fine.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, Kurogiri. Shirakumo.
Nice.
That guy. Yeah, so set prior. No, so Vigilantes is not like and here's Deku being a vigilante.
Okay. But
No.
Deku is a vigilante.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we would say if our father used to really love the show 24.
Oh, uh-huh.
Do you remember 24? Jack
I remember
Bauer,
somewhat about 24, yeah. I
Kiefer
never
Sutherland.
watched a full episode of it or anything.
Oh, really? Okay.
I would hear
that was just a me and dad thing.
That's just a you and dad thing, and I would hear the beeps.
Yeah.
I would hear the beeps. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
There's it seems like this would happen fairly often. I can't remember if it was from the beginning of the show that they established this or not, but I remember there came a point where you kind of knew at some point during the season
Mhm.
Jack Bauer was going to have to take the law into his own hands and go off the grid.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah. Loose cannon.
So Deku's gone off the grid.
Uh-huh.
He's Jack Bowering right now.
He's Jack Bowering all over the place. Yeah, he's left school. He's a delinquent now. He wrote 20 handwritten letters or 19 handwritten letters.
He's a neat.
He's a neat
Yeah.
I mean, is being a vigilante considered employed?
No, you're not.
No.
You're not employed by anyone.
Yeah. So Deku's a neat now. He's a really active neat. Really going against the grain there.
But
he's not sitting in front of a computer.
In what
Education.
What is it? Education.
It's not in education, employment, or training.
Yeah. Yeah, he's technically not in any of those.
I mean, he's learning the school of hard knocks. He's learning the streets.
Yeah. And so I'm a little disappointed here.
Yeah.
That the hood is going on in service of this stupid vigilante thing. Rather than being some sort of like beast form.
Yeah, I'm sorry
Naruto.
to disappoint you that we're not doing sicko mode. we're not doing beast
going
mode.
sicko mode. Travis Scott is not in the building.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, and come to my surprise, I remember telling you when we were discussing sicko modes in anime and stuff like that. I was like, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure in Hunter x Hunter, Gon has a sicko mode. I think he does. I might have misinterpreted something.
You don't think he does?
I don't think he has one.
Oh, okay.
I think I might have misinterpreted some things that people were saying about that character.
Okay. Well, I'm fortunate, man.
Yeah, I'm fortunate. I mean,
rough.
I'm almost 200 chapters in.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe he'll get like a final hour just sicko mode.
Yeah, true. Because they didn't turn Monkey D. Luffy into a monkey until
Yeah. I'm gonna have to put a timestamp here too. For spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers. They turn Monkey D. Luffy into a monkey.
Well, like not really though. Like
it's real.
It's not really a monkey though.
It's in his name.
All right. Whatever. Yeah. So yeah, we got all that. We got all the discussions within himself about whether or not he should kill Shigaraki.
Yeah. Can I call the shot right now?
Let's see.
Can I call the shot?
Call it.
There's no way in hell he kills Shigaraki. Okay?
Right.
There's no way. Deku
they also had a whole discussion about how they're like, oh cool, you made the right choice here. One for all is made to save, yeah.
Yeah, listen, I understand that, but I knew the moment they even said the words kill Shigaraki this was purely set up for Deku to love and friendship Shigaraki into some blissful state of forgiveness.
Yeah, well, it's really. I was thinking about his whole I think it was a few episodes ago that he was like, Shigaraki, I will never forgive you. But then, and he's changed his mind here because he, had that mind link with him for a moment.
Sure, I get that, but there was no world in which Deku didn't love and friendship Shigaraki into the good guys at the end.
Right.
From day one.
Oh, sure.
This isn't a development. This isn't like I have a pet peeve when it's obviously there has to be someone in order to make a storyline effective. There's got to be someone to promote the counter possibility.
Yeah.
it's like it's not as meaningful if, you spare someone's life if like there was never any talk at all of killing.
Uh-huh.
But I would also argue to the same point that, if it's just so obvious and so obviously a foregone conclusion that you're not going to kill this guy,
Hmm.
even if you kind of interject some conversation about the possibility of it, earlier in the story, I
Hmm.
don't know if that really does the heavy lifting that, creating a situation in which Deku might actually kill this guy and then having him, choose love and friendship instead.
Mm.
You know,
So wait, you would perhaps want this to be in, say, a more dramatic moment of decisiveness rather
it's
than this like premeditated like, hey, I'm
it's
not gonna kill him.
it's not even the moment. It's like I think there's just almost an issue with the kinds of stories that some stories are,
Hmm.
where you just have a show that has established itself for 6 seasons now,
Yeah.
and there's been no hint of uh killing capability in Deku,
Mm,
you
mm-hmm.
know? That it's just a foregone conclusion. So it's almost like the kind of story that we're in, that this particular topic to come up, and they've tried to introduce something along these lines a couple of times, and each time
Yeah.
it's never felt weighty, you
Ah.
know? I've never felt like we're watching something that's actually trying to do anything with the subject of whether or not to kill.
Interesting.
It feels like, it's a show with this kind of foregone presupposition that killing is not good. You shouldn't do that.
Uh-huh.
And occasionally they got to bring it up to sort of reinforce that idea. But that's less
I can see 'em.
interesting to me than it's like in horror movies, you have to be afraid of what the director might do.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
And
yeah,
so the
yeah.
best horror movies are kinds of the ones where it's like where there's a moment where something happens and you're like, I don't even know what the rule book is anymore. That person's,
Mhm, mm.
I just
Yeah,
saw that person's decaying head or whatever, and
yeah.
that's much realer than I usually see in movies. So like
Oh, sure.
this guy could do anything,
Right,
And
right.
in anime rarely, in my opinion, as just a medium provides that, because it's a very tropey sort of format, which isn't necessarily a
Mhm,
bad
mhm.
thing.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
You can do lots of cool stuff, but I'm wondering if like if there was a way to play to the strengths of Deku, and the inevitability of him saving Shigaraki,
Mhm.
that didn't feel like they were trying to, you know, bring up a moral decision that was never really a moral decision. It's like
Mhm, mhm,
Deku
mhm.
just Deku just wasn't ever gonna kill Shigaraki.
Right, I kind of get you. This is, I can kind of see where this is not like a, oh wow, what a revelation that
Yeah. Mhm.
Deku is not gonna kill Shigaraki. I was worried there for a moment. No,
Mhm.
I never really crossed my mind either because it's just not
Yeah.
really that kind of show.
Exactly. Yeah.
And Deku's just not that kind of character in this
Mhm.
show. I mean, of course, other characters have died, but they're not being killed by any heroes that are. I guess
Yeah.
Hawks is out here killing people, but
Right, yeah.
not Deku though. I don't think I've never sat there and was like, oh yeah, they're gonna make the one of the kids kill somebody. You know?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Well, it's like, I think maybe, like, Star Wars is a good example where
Mm.
I think there was legitimately within the realm of that story the possibility that Luke goes in and kills Vader.
Oh sure, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't think it was so obvious upon first viewing that Luke was just gonna and that's what made the whole scene in the where he's in the cave or whatever
Mhm.
and wondering if he's going to become Vader.
Mm.
You know, that's what made that scene powerful, because it was like, what is Luke going to do when he faces Darth Vader? We don't really know.
Right. Right. Yeah. And plus, also, I mean, Star Wars being just such an originator of so many tropey things, they kind of
Yeah.
got in. Well, and even though it's kind of an amalgamation of all the things that came before it too,
Mhm.
but it kind of really set that trend of somebody deciding in the end, I should not become like the things that are evil, but instead, be above that.
Yeah. And so it's like, I think maybe if maybe my point might be something like, if you're not going to create that real tension, don't even put up like artificial tension. Just like find a way to
Mm.
make the story work where you lean into the thing that we all already know is going to happen.
Okay, yeah.
Because it
I
feels anticlimactic a little bit.
I could see that. I still kind of like this like discussion within
Mm,
himself of, hey, thanks for making the right choice here. We
mm,
all, we weren't sure about you, with like All Might picking you or whatever, but you do uphold the values of one for all and everything, and we're glad you chose that because one for all is made to save. I like that conversation. I don't know.
yeah, I was kind of confused in it because, like,
Yeah.
yeah, I am remembering sort of the parts you're talking about where it's like they kind of go
Yeah.
like, yeah, we should probably try and save them. But like there was a moment where like one of them, I can't remember, the guy with the black whip or whatever,
Yeah.
was talking about like how there was only hatred in his eyes and stuff, and I was like,
Well, again,
I
I think they were trying to steel man their own arguments, I
oh,
think,
okay.
and
See that
kind of
th-
trying to get Deku to speak
mhm,
his mind and say yes or no, I am going to kill or not kill him.
okay. I can't decide if that makes it worse or better for me. Because like
Yeah.
in one sense, to me, it almost makes it even more fake, where it's
Oh.
like not even the
Uh-huh.
people who are suggesting that he kill Shigaraki
Uh-huh.
think he's gonna kill Shigaraki. It's like a test or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
And
but they don't. I guess they sort of know Midoriya. I guess they're all in his little mind realm or whatever.
yeah.
I think they're trying to figure out his character here, and
Sure.
perhaps if he had said, "Yep, I'll do it. I'll kill
On
Shigaraki," I don't know if they would like, I don't know, revoke access here or something. Or
right. Well, to my second point,
yeah.
you know, first it's like, huh, does this make me not like it more? Second, the second side is that in some sense this is a little closer to what I was asking for,
Mm,
right? Because it's not because if characters in the show were supporting the idea that they kill Shigaraki,
hmm
I think that would make it seem like they were trying to actually set up a moral dilemma.
Uh-huh.
This doesn't make it, this interpretation, or what you're pointing out,
hmm
that they were only testing him, and that he was they were expecting this of his character, basically.
Yeah.
um that more reinforces the idea that the show is not trying to fool you into thinking that there was a possibility that that Deku was going to kill him.
hmm
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's much more in line with what I was kind of saying, which is that I would prefer it if if a show is not even going to entertain the possibility of killing a character or something like that, or doing some sort of
Uh-huh.
moral dilemma, to not even pretend.
Right.
So a test works better for that, I think.
Right, yeah.
That makes
and
more
I think
sense.
that's what they were doing.
Okay.
I think they all have their, it's one for all, and they all have their code of conduct here or
Okay.
whatever. Yeah.
I got a little whiplash on that, and
Oh, okay.
to be fair, I was watching these episodes for a second time,
Mm-hmm.
and the first time I had gotten to that scene and only heard the arguments for killing him, and then my power went out. I get
Oh,
to finish
okay.
the
Yeah. So
episode.
you've been kind of lingering on that for
Yeah,
a week.
I've been kind of thinking on this. I've been stewing on this a little bit. I've been like,
Oh,
huh,
okay.
are they really trying to moral dilemma me here? Because
Oh,
Deku's
okay.
not going to kill this guy.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's not going to happen. So what are they trying to do
Yeah.
here? Okay.
Oh, sure. Yeah. No,
Okay.
I get you. Yeah. So you've been stewing on that. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really know where you got to.
Yeah, I got to that, and then the power went out, and it was off for like 5 hours.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you didn't even get to vigilante Deku in the end. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I've been seeing it in the
Thumbnails.
opening, you know,
Yeah.
in the opening every time, you know, Deku
Oh,
with
sure.
his scarf. I like the scarf. I think that's a good vigilante scarf, you know.
It is a good vigilante.
I see someone in a scarf like that, and I'm like, you don't have a home, you don't have a place in this world. You're adrift, and you're just going wherever the wind blows.
Oh yeah, it's a great design. I'm so happy that he doesn't have the long gloves anymore. I hate those long gloves. I'm so glad they got rid of them.
Yeah. They had to use all the material from the long gloves to make that long neck piece for best Jeanist suit.
I'm so glad that Deku's stupid long gloves could be used for something
Even stupider.
I guess. I mean, like, what do you do when you have that long of a neck? What do you do?
I don't know, man. Maybe a turtleneck or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
a smart turtleneck could look better on him. Yeah, go for the Steve Jobs look.
Yeah, exactly. Steve Jobs.
Yeah, go for that look. Yeah. So yeah, and then here, like I said, Deku writes 19 handwritten letters to say, "Hey, everybody, one for all." That's the thing. Here's about it.
Yeah, that was weird, and I did enjoy that we got some Uraka
time. She gets narrate.
time for her to be sad that Deku's gone.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's breadcrumbs. That's all they ever give me.
Those shonen breadcrumbs.
Shonen breadcrumbs, yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But it's nice. I like it, and the press conference was kind of weak in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Like there were aspects of it that again, I really like this aspect of the hero lost faith in heroes and stuff like that, and
yeah.
But the argument with the lady kind of just went like very circular. It was just like, hey, my mom got hurt. What do you have to say for yourselves? It's like, sorry, we're here's some bunker space and some we're gonna go out there and fight the bad guys. And she's like, well, why don't you do something about it? It's like, well, I just told you what I'm gonna do about it. What are we doing here?
Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of the nature of certain arguments. Sometimes they're a bit circular.
Yeah, I get it, man. I mean, maybe that's an accurate representation, but it was like,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't have a better suggestion for what they should have done for that scene.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But that to me, that part in particular was a little little lackluster. It was kind of already established. It's like, hey, like quite frankly, the sniveling conferences. I'm kind of in agreement with these guys. It's like the sniveling press conference where they all go like, "We're really sorry that all your houses got messed up." Probably aren't. In my perfect world, if I were leading the heroes, I'd have been like, "No, screw that. We got stuff to do."
Right, I guess it's like kind of a debriefing to the public about what exactly is going on and what is true and what isn't about the allegations that have been set out against Endeavor.
I get what they were trying to do, but it was
you're
really...
also just like, I'd rather them be on the ground, opening up those shelters and building a house.
Yeah, boots on the ground. Endeavor builds a house.
Yeah. Building everybody a house.
Go and do what they need to do. It's like put out a press release or something,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. It's like this could have been an email.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the public appearance aspect is like perhaps expected or possible, but it's like it's also weird. I guess it does highlight the weird fascination with like simultaneously mobs of people who are angry about certain things. They simultaneously want you to make the groveling statement. But then when you make the groveling statement, they also want to say, "We don't care about your words. Do something."
Right.
It's like, well, sure. If I didn't do this, you guys would be posting every day about how I haven't said anything. So it's like
it's kind of
I can't win here.
Win. You can't win. Yeah, you can't. No, it's that is kind of the nature of these things. I was also trying to think of like, I guess in a way, heroes are sort of like police, but also almost quasi-political figures in a way. I guess they do have to speak on these things.
I understand the expectation. I guess maybe that was... so it's not the show's fault. I think the show did a good job, maybe. And what I was experiencing was frustration with the thing that the show was trying to highlight. Which is that like there's no winning in these situations.
There isn't. No, absolutely not. Yeah. Which is why you had all those people like cutting away to the audiences watching, and you got one guy who's like, "Oh, Endeavor should just like freaking denied it. He should have just buried this and went on with his life." And other people are like, "Man, it's over. It's so over.
So Jover. It's so Jover." Yeah. Overall, I do think that scene is good in retrospect, thinking back on it, because it is accurate, I think. But it is a frustrating watch. It's just like,
oh sure, yeah, I don't think it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be can we just... If you just let them do what they need to do, people are dying. you gotta let them do what they do. Boy.
It's like, why is Endeavor the dude who can, erupt into flames and kick butt and build houses, sitting here answering questions at a press conference,
Exactly. He should be boots on the ground, doing stuff,
Yeah. It's like maybe have like a hero who's in charge of this kind of thing.
Have a PR guy
or whatever. PR guy,
yeah.
Have him go out and talk about it or whatever. I guess, having the top 3 heroes there is important.
Yeah, it's supposed to be symbolic of all heroes. It's like these are your top 3, this is your best and brightest. 2 of them
and one of them is
crimes.
And one of them is best Jeanist, so we know we're all screwed. When your top 3 heroes includes best Jeanist, you've done messed up.
Hey man, he earned his spot. He earned it.
Yeah.
But almost on the wrap. I want to show you something. I love parallels. I love bookends. I'm sending you something in the chat here. So this is the first page
of My Hero Academia.
Mm-hmm.
Got a nice spread here. 2-page spread.
Okay. Nice.
And this is the final act. So, a giant villain parallels.
A giant villain?
Yeah, so the first thing we see Deku say is, "Oh, a giant villain."
Oh, okay. I wasn't
And
paying
now
attention to what he
here,
was saying.
in the final act, he says,
Mm-hmm.
"A giant villain."
I do love that scarf.
It's a good scarf.
Love that scarf. Love the design. Everything is cool except for the rabbit hat. I don't understand why we have to bring that back up.
You know, it's
Does he think if
God who's gonna use it?
does he think that if he puts on that hood, people are gonna be like, "Who's that guy?"
Maybe.
Are people gonna be like that? Am I gonna have to watch this next episode and he puts on this rabbit hood that he's had since season 1?
Uh-huh.
And people are gonna go like, "Whoa, who's this new guy?"
From
like,
I
like,
mean, yeah.
like the Crimson Chin like takes off his mask
Oh,
or
yeah,
something,
yeah.
and people go like,
Well,
"Who's
here's the
this?"
thing about the Crimson Chin. He never took off his mask. He just put a pair of glasses on the edge
Yeah,
of his chin,
yeah.
and also just have like a business suit, but he'd still wear
Yeah.
the mask.
Yeah, that's true.
But I
it-
don't recall anybody being like, I don't know who that is. That couldn't possibly be the Deku we know. That guy emanating black energy and wearing all green. Who could this be? No, I don't remember any of that.
I'm gonna lose my mind even if there's like a TV report or something where someone goes like, "This green masked vigilantes, running around." And
So here's Deku is sort of known from the sports festival, right?
okay,
But he
he's not
was
in the public
wearing
eye.
a gym uniform.
Sure.
Yeah, he's not very much in the public eye. He was wearing like a gym uniform in that sports festival, so they wouldn't recognize his costume.
Okay, you're prepping me. You're talking me down from my hysteria, so I don't.
Yeah, I'm making sure you don't make up a guy and get mad about him.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I also don't really recall anybody being too like, "Oh, who's that?" But I also maybe there was some kind of news report like you're talking about, mostly because Deku's not a big guy in the public eye yet. I mean, I guess he was interning with Endeavor, but I don't think anybody goes, "Oh man, breaking news! Endeavor has a new intern."
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
that's fair. I could see how he's been kept out of the public eye enough that that maybe the public is concerned
he's just like
about
a student,
who this person is.
Yeah,
because they don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
I'll roll with it for now. We'll see.
So we finally get Vigilante Deku, which is like a big thing in the fandom. A lot of people write fan fictions about Deku being a vigilante.
It is pretty cool.
Long before this happened.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's a big AU that people would write. I haven't read any that I enjoyed.
With them.
Oh, you wish you'd take Uraraka with him? Yeah,
I wish she got a really cool scarf too, and they were vigilantes together.
See, there we go. That's the AU. You take y'all run with that.
My fan fiction.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
So we'll get more of that next time in the episode. I think it's called. I think it
would be really funny though. That was another thing. They titled the first episode that had the bunny hood on in the
in the thumbnails. Okay, yeah, as full power, and you're like, oh yeah, sicko mode.
I was like, sick. Sicko mode is coming. He's gonna go sicko mode with his new. He's gonna have a conversation with his vestiges in this episode, and then they're gonna be like, "Yo, bro, thanks for having this chat. Now that you can talk in here or whatever, we're gonna let you go sicko mode."
You're gonna unlock that ability.
Yeah, so I was like, sick. This is great. I love this.
Yeah.
And now you've taken that away from me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. He doesn't actually have sicko mode.
Like even
He
your
just puts on a hood.
your little figure made it look very
Yeah.
sicko mode-esque as well.
Yeah, I'll show you when we get to the episode, which I'm sure I think is like next episode.
Yeah.
I'll show you the panel that came from.
Uh-huh.
Because it's like
It's not him going sicko mode, apparently.
oh no, but it's based off of a very particular illustration that I thought was very striking, and that's why I was like, I should get that figure, you know?
Nice.
Yeah. Which man, I forget. So I got my Chainsaw Man figure in, and I forgot how huge boxes for figures are.
Yeah, they're pretty
And
big.
I will keep that in mind if I ever buy another figure. I don't have any that I'm like really hankering for at the moment, but here's Chainsaw Man.
Hell
Here he
yeah.
is. Yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah. Got the chainsaws.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's squatted up.
Wad it up, man. Yep. Yeah. Chainsaw Man's great. I should reread that. I want to read that again.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
They have full power.
Full power.
Misleading title.
Why would they call it full power? God. I'm so upset.
Oh.
Sicko mode.
I'm sorry that Deku didn't get a sicko mode.
It's just the only thing that would have redeemed this stupid bunny mask.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know?
I also think that I think it looks a little better illustrated than animated, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But and that's maybe just me.
Best, but
But I am also all for this little edgelord design. I like it very much.
It is cool. I like that they made it edgelordy and all tattered, and
yeah,
that is nice. And they gave him the scarf to compensate. That's the coolest scarf that anyone's ever worn.
Yeah.
So it's like the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away,
All things in balance as they should be.
I have to take the hood, but I'll I get the scarf, so that's nice.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm the hood is gonna be kind of short-lived. Yeah.
Which is great. I'll deal with that.
Yeah.
But if they take that scarf away, the podcast is over.
Oh wow.
I'm out.
There would be riots in the streets. There will be
Yeah.
Yeah. There will be blood.
Yeah. I'm kidding. I mean, of course they're gonna take away the scarf when he stops being a vigilante, I guess.
I'm trying to remember, actually.
Yeah? You don't remember if they take away the scarf or not?
Well, I forgot I'm sorry, who's even fighting right now? I can't remember.
What's even happening in My Hero Academia?
A lot, I will say.
Please end your show, Horikoshi.
Oh, Luke, you're gonna be so happy. He keeps the scarf.
Yeah?
Yeah, he keeps it.
Oh, hell yeah.
We're so back.
We're so back.
Yeah, no, he keeps it.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Right. So that was episodes 17 and 18. So 19 and 20 is next.
All right. Well.
Yeah. Do you have any final thoughts, or I'll just end?
I think I've splurged many a thought.
We have said many a thoughts to it.
Microphone today,
Yes.
I think I've thought it myself out.
That could mean something different to somebody else.
Oh yeah, that's true. Not in that way.
Thank you for listening to We Have Fun Here. Join us next time as we watch season 6 episodes 19 and 20. See you then.
Goodbye.